everybody. Today we are going to talk about stone fruits. And with the month of August, you can just find stone fruits in almost every local farmer's market, your grocery store, your roadside stands. So I thought it'd be a great month to just go ahead and talk about that. So stone fruits are actually in season from spring through the early fall, but we're going to talk about the ones that you can typically find this time of year, as well as some of the nutrition benefits from the stone fruits, ways to incorporate them into your diet, and look at some of the different varieties that I was able to find. So stone fruits are a class of fruits called the drupes, and we actually talked about them a couple of months ago when we talked about berries. So some berries are actually classified as drupes, stone fruits, even though berries don't have stones in them. So anyway, stone fruits typically have thin skins, and the characteristic is that they all have some type of stone or pit in them. Doesn't really matter which one they are. So they include peaches, plums, nectarines, apricots, dates, mangoes, cherries, lychees, which are a tropical fruit. I couldn't find one of those to bring in to show you. Coconut. And then there's actually some things you wouldn't think of as fruits. Olives are considered a stone fruit, as well as green almonds. All right. There are hybrids of stone fruits, and I did bring some of those into you today. They're called pluots, which is a cross between a plum and an apricot. Or I also found one called an aprium, which is more apricot than plum. So found a couple of those to bring in to show you all today. So nutritionally, almost all of your stone fruits have about the same type of nutrition value. They're all very low calorie, they're all fat-free, and they all are good sources of fiber, particularly if you eat the skin with them. So we're going to take a closer look at a few of them. Cherries. A cup of cherries is about 100 calories a day. I didn't bring cherries in with me because they are out of season. They're one of the earliest stone fruits. They come in the spring. They have a little bit of protein. They're fat-free. They're a very good source of fiber, as well as vitamin C and potassium. And we talked before about antioxidants. So vitamin C acts as an antioxidant, which can help protect your cells against damage from free radicals. I've read a couple studies when I was reading about the cherries that they feel like they might help with decrease in the symptoms of gout and arthritis. And I actually saw tart cherry juice that you can buy in the grocery store to drink just for that. Cherries can be tart or sweet. They range in color from yellow all the way to a very deep blackish red color. I'm sure you're all quite familiar with cherries. Peaches. So I brought a couple. I just brought a typical yellow peach, and then a little bit bigger, a little white peach. Okay. One large peach is about 70 calories. All the calories come from carbohydrates. There's a tiny bit of protein. Once again, they're fat-free, excellent source of fiber, particularly if you eat the skin. They're a good source of vitamin C, vitamin A, and the mineral potassium. And the carotenoids in the peaches are what give them their nice gold color. And we talked about carotenoids last month when we talked about tomatoes, and that's what gave tomatoes their nice red color. So same thing with peaches. The carotenoids give the peaches their nice color. The carotenoids are 27 more times prevalent in the skin than in the flesh. So again, wash your peach real good, get some of that fuzz off of it, but try to eat the skin because that's where a lot of the fiber and the extra carotenoids are. Peaches can come as either freestone or cling peaches. It doesn't affect the nutritional value at all. It's just easier if you're baking with peaches to use the freestone peaches as opposed to the clingstone peaches. They're good to eat out of hand. You can also obviously use them a lot in baked products. And later on, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about other ways to use peaches besides just how you would typically think about it. White peaches are a little bit lower in acidity, so they tend to taste a little bit sweeter. They don't hold up as well when you cook. So typically if you're cooking with peaches, you use the yellow ones, and white ones are more for like a quick grill or just to eat right out of hand. I didn't realize this, I learned this last night, but nectarines are actually a type of peach. The difference is obviously the skin. So with the nectarines, you have the smoother skin, but you can see coloring wise, they look a lot like a peach. Just the difference is in the skin. They also come in the freestone or the clingstone variety, and they can also be a yellow nectarine, or in this case, the white nectarine was smaller than the yellow nectarine. Okay. They're firmer than peaches. They do take a little bit longer to soften. but they're great to grill with or bake with. They have that firm texture, so they hold up a lot better when cooking. And obviously they're delicious to eat right out of hand. Back here, I have a bunch of plums. I couldn't believe how many varieties of plums there were. So plums are a very low calorie fruit. You could eat 2 regular sized plums is only about 60 calories. Again, they're fat free. They have a good amount of fiber, contain vitamin C, vitamin A, vitamin K, and they also carry the antioxidant properties that the peaches and the cherries have. Plums are also known for their laxative effect in their dried form. So dried plums are prunes, and prunes are known to help maintain bowel regularity. So they're a good choice to have. There's about 20 different types of plums. I found out that they originated in China before they made their way to the United States, and they can range in color from green to red to yellow and shades of like a dark purple. They have either a yellow or a red flesh, and when you first bite through them, they're quite tart before you get to the sweeter part inside. So when looking at all these plums, what I discovered was that they crossbreed plums a lot into something called a pluot. So which is a cross between a plum and an apricot. So you can have just your regular plum. This is just a regular black plum. And this, I had to leave the little numbers on here so I could see it. This is just a little regular red plum. So these are just plums. These 3 here are crosses with plums and apricots. So this is a black plumcot. So it's about 75% plum and about 25% apricot. To me, it looks just like a plum, but it's a plumcot. This one here is a red plumcot. So you can see it's just a little bit lighter in color. And then this, obviously, is a green plumcot. I can tell you, I've never tried it. Right now, this one feels really firm, so I'd probably leave it out on the counter for a little bit. But again, they're all crosses between plums and apricots, but they're primarily plums. All right, so those are plums, which leads us to apricots. So apricots, I tend to find are one of those love-hate fruits. You either really like them or you can't stand them at all. But there's about 80 calories in approximately 2 apricots. They're fat-free, again, excellent source of fiber, good source of vitamin C and A, as well as potassium. And they're also a good source of B vitamins. You can eat them fresh or dried. And they are also rich in beta carotene, which converts to vitamin A in your body, which helps as an antioxidant. Apricots typically look like, to me, they look like small peaches. They're generally round and yellow, but I actually found some in the store that were closer to a red color. They're a little bit more tart than a plum or a peach, but they can be quite delicious, and they're delicious to cook with. They hold up really well to cook with, and I found out that the country of Turkey is the major grower of apricots. So when I was in the apricot aisle, I found something called an aprium. And what this is a cross between an apricot and a plum, just like these are, but it's primarily apricot and a little bit of plum. So the difference is a plumcot is mostly plum with a little bit of apricot, and an aprium is mostly apricot with a little bit of a plum. So I do plan to try that one sometime later today. The last one I brought to show you all was a mango. And mangoes, obviously, they're much bigger fruits, so they're higher in calories, about 170 calories if you would eat this whole mango. Again, fat-free, good source of fiber. Mangoes are one of the stone fruits that you do not want to eat the peel. You definitely would not want to eat a mango peel. You can get over 90% of your vitamin C requirement for the day in one mango. Also full of vitamin A, E, and B vitamins. India is the largest producer of mangoes, and apparently they have over 1,500 varieties of mangoes that grow in India. They all have distinct tastes and color. There are some mangoes, like this one you can see is in the process of getting ripe. You wouldn't want to eat it if it was all this color. This mango, when it's ripe, will be all this color. There are mangoes that stay green even when they're totally ripe. So you have to know what type of mango you're buying to know whether it's ripe or not. They get heavier as they ripen. Sometimes the color changes like this, but the biggest way to tell is that they get a little bit softer and they actually smell like a mango. Like right now, This one doesn't really have any smell, but you can smell a mango when it gets nice and ripe. So to summarize, stone fruits, they're all fat-free. They're all good sources of vitamins, minerals, and fiber. They all contain antioxidant properties, which help protect your cells against free radical damage. Vitamin C helps support your immune system, and they promote digestive health due to the fiber, which helps keep your intestinal tract moving. Just a few little tips in storing. Typically, you want to store stone fruits at room temperature when you first buy them unless they're already fully ripened. Once they're ripened, you want to pop them into the refrigerator because they can get soft very quickly. Peaches and nectarines are typically 2 to 3 days out on your counter. Apricots ripen very quickly. Once they get soft, one of these is actually very soft and ready to eat already. The exception to this is the cherries. Cherries do not ripen any further once you pick them. So you should always store fresh cherries in the refrigerator till you're ready to eat them. And like with most fruits, don't wash them until you're ready to eat them. You can freeze stone fruits by washing them, cutting them in half, taking out the pit. Just freeze them on an open tray in the freezer and then pop them in a freezer bag. Use them later. Once they defrost, they're not going to be really good to eat because they're going to be mushy, but they're great to bake with. Or if you dice them up, maybe top your ice cream in the middle of the winter with some fresh peaches. That would be delicious. I'm going to put out some ideas for you guys to use stone fruit, but some simple ones are just starting your day by adding the fruit to your cereal or your pancakes or waffles or your yogurt. Bake with them. Like I said before, top your ice cream with them. Drink them up by making a smoothie. Add some few thin slices of peach and mint to your next glass of iced tea. You can grill them. It's easy to grill. You could just take a nectarine, wash it, cut it in half, pull out the pit, and then just brush both sides with olive oil and cook them for about 2 minutes each side on the grill till they soften, and they're delicious added to a salad or just to eat alone. We used to do this in Girl Scout camp years ago, but we would put together foil packets with the sliced peaches, a little bit of butter, some vanilla and sugar, and just wrap it up in the foil packet and stick it down in the coals or on top of the grill, and then you have almost like a little peach cobbler, right? So again, use stone fruits as they are in salads, grilled, in salsas, in sauces, in a sangria. I have a recipe for you for sangria, and of course to bake with. So I hope you all have the good rest of your summer, and I'll see you in September.